Hey boo boo, good morning. You're getting poked by me. You're getting poked by Laura. Subscribe to my YouTube, become a member of my Patreon. It's free. You get all the access to my podcast episodes going back to 2022, where you can be educated on Chinese medicine. I talk about dreams. I talk about, every organ, all the emotions. And I think I'm up to like 100 and almost 80 episodes. I don't know. There's a lot there. It's free, so go get some. And then come back here and get poked by me. So I want to talk a little bit of medical philosophy now. Keep in mind, I'm waiting for questions. The purpose of this podcast, the purpose of me being here, the purpose of me opening up my mind, my life, my experience, is not to talk about myself. I don't really have a deep need to talk about myself. I've done a lot of that work. What I do want to talk about is you, but as a method to talking about you, and as a method to earning trust and getting an audience and growing listeners so that I can get more questions and answer those, I'll talk about the shit I know. And maybe it'll trigger something in you to ask a question or, feel comfortable and safe enough to dig into something that maybe you haven't before. Be a little vulnerable and help us all to learn together. So join Patreon. So I was wandering around my kitchen making myself some dandelion tea. And what did I do with that tea? Oh my goodness. It's across the room. Okay, I'm going to yell across the room to make this interesting, but I'm going to get up because I need this tea. This is my second time making dandelion tea. Can you still hear me? And it's the second time I've forgotten it. I woke up to a full mug of cool dandelion tea. So irritating. Okay, I got it. So anyway, I'm wandering around. I've already recorded a couple of episodes today and posted, and I'm getting my routine down, which I cannot tell you. Okay, apparently this is also going to be a ramble, so strap in, kiddos. But we're going to get to some medical philosophy. I don't know. I can veer away from that stuff, but I'm feeling excitement and energy, like I'm back to my yoga, which makes a huge difference. It's medicine. The only other problem, though, I'm going to be honest. So if you don't want to improve your magic, your sex drive, your sex appeal, your sexiness, if you don't want that back in your life, do not do what I'm doing. Because it's hard if you have no way to express. Listen, I'm my own best lover, and I encourage you to be that as well. If you happen to have another, good for you, boo-boo. I'm jealous. You better be taking advantage of that shit, okay? Okay. But I do Iyengar yoga. Oh my goodness. And but it takes energy to do that. You have to have just enough energy to show up and sit there and turn it on. And I have not had that. And I got it. And so the momentum is building, and the hips are opening, and the groin is opening, and the spine is opening, and the muscles are letting down, and the bones are going into place. And so I'm plugged in to the energy, to the universe, and it's flying through me. And a part of me still wants to rest, but I think too much of me is healed. When we get out of this Vermont winter spring thing that we're in, oh good Lord, it's the season of the six sticks, Noah. Oh, Noah. Do y'all know Noah Kahn? Oh my God. I love him. He makes sweet, sweet love to my ears. Anyway, once we get out of this, I'm going to be outside in the sun with my fat ass in a swimsuit. I don't give a shit. Okay, we're gonna jiggle it. Ladies, let it out. When the sun comes, get out in it. So anyway, that's the energy that I'm in right now. That's where I'm at. So I'm wandering around my house, telling myself I'm going to watch Netflix, and my body's like, no, you're not. You are not going to watch Netflix. You are going to record as many episodes as you can record and make a lot of dandelion tea. So what I was thinking while I was in my kitchen, I told you I'd come back, making dandelion tea for the second time today, which is a great spring herb to drink, by the way. Really good. Kidney, liver, good. Cleanse, detox. Get that shit out. I was like, do people understand that they are limited resources? I don't think most people understand that they are limited resources. And because you are limited in every breath, in every heartbeat, you know, in every morning, in every night, it's limited. And so therefore it is precious. And so what we give our time and attention to, how we spend our time and our attention and our abilities to listen, to act, to speak, to love, to exist, to be, it's deeply meaningful, whether you intend for it to be or not. You know, we're limited resources. And so when I think about that in terms of medicine, because one of the things I know for sure that we lack in this country with the vast majority of doctors, I can't speak for other parts of the health industry. For me, I think nurses have the most heart in the Western medical field. I don't mean to dismiss other people's hearts or intentions. That's not what I mean. I mean in terms of the care of patients. But I don't know, nursing, it gives me pain to think about nurses. They're the mothers of medicine. They bear too much. They don't get paid enough. They don't get the respect they deserve. They don't get they don't. And I know there's a philosophy there with nurses. I know that. This is my firsthand experience. This is not a political statement about this. This is all my personal observations and experience. And I love to learn, all perspectives. But that's kind of my takeaway. And I just think, sometimes I think with allopathic Western medicine is the core philosophy, when we look at the unexamined core philosophy, is it central to all of allopathic science-based Western medicine in the way we think of those words. And if you don't know what I mean, stick with me, I will explain. What is the philosophy, the through line, right? Pharmacology to surgical to neurological to biological to, is there a through line? Is there an idea? And I think it's to cure all suffering, disease, and death. That is what I see as the sort of why. And I find that personally, again, this is my personal feeling and opinion and experience of life and living, I find that deeply troubling. Not because I like disease or death or suffering. I don't like those things. They're terrible. But I come from a philosophy, I have learned to connect to a philosophy that gives me a reason for those things without the need to deny that we can't make those things better, but to understand that life itself is not meant for us to mold and control, no matter how much we might argue so. We don't control nature. I know we like to think we do. When I say Western mind, that's what I'm talking about. the Socratic method, right? Like this goes back to like Greek teachers and Western philosophers. These different ways of thinking and asking questions. It's kind of like my teachers in Chinese med school. So I was in this really weird little microcosm, like on the west side of Los Angeles. I went to school in Santa Monica. My school was on Wilshire Boulevard at 19th Street in Santa Monica. It's not there anymore. They just moved like last year. Maybe this year, actually. No, it was last year, 2024. I think they moved into Culver City. I don't know if they got bigger or smaller. I hope they got bigger. I doubt it, which I don't know. Maybe they did. Like, they're pretty committed to growth. But anyway, it was like they brought in some of the best teachers because I think they, offered the best whatever, or people were attracted to that area. So it's easy to get good teachers because it's a beautiful area to work in, to live in. It's magical. But a lot of my teachers were direct from China. And often they had trouble with these Western students from West Los Angeles. Some of us, coming in already with a high degree of education and professional experience, because in a school like that, to become a physician of East Asian medicine, you don't get the typical crowd. You get ex-attorneys, you get nurses, doctors, martial artists, because they've experienced the medicine through the ointments that they put on their bodies. So even things like the way we ask questions, could be irritating to them. They just want you to listen, just listen. And I'm all about questions. I think questions and conversation are great, but I will say I came to appreciate many things about my counterparts in school who came from the East Asian part of the world, and also who were immigrants and whose families still lived in ways that are so different from the way that a Western white person, for lack of a better description, to categorize that subcategory of living, they ate lunch together. It's so simple. So anyway, the lessons in that school were deep and big, and it permeated through and into the medicine, because it's a totally different way of looking, and they do have a deep philosophy of what is, and it goes into physics and quantum physics. It's conceptual. It's not a story about a sky daddy, and I mean that with all respect to anyone who worships a god. I understand we don't, maybe all, but I think the idea of something that matters, whatever that might be to you, even Ricky Gervais, right? I fucking love Ricky Gervais. You don't understand my love for that man. And sometimes I want to good and proper slap him. I think he would like it though. But maybe that's the point. Anyway, I digress. Oh my God. I know I'm turning red right now. He cares about animal rights, it's a focus for him. It matters. So if something matters to you, anyway. But what I love about East Asian medicine is that it's conceptual, and those concepts come down in through the medicine. And so they give you an actual foundation of where you're coming from and your beliefs to a degree, in a very broad way, about the nature of life, the nature of the universe, the nature of matter, the nature of energy. You see the dance of life, you understand the alchemical magic that it is and that you want to know more of, but you will never fully capture. It is having majesty. It is having an understanding that there is a greater truth that is so far beyond you. And I'm not saying no one in Western science or thinking or allopathic medicine doesn't believe these things. The systemic way that allopathic medicine has been co-opted by corporate entities and made into a profit-making, scheming institution that steals the ideas of health and wellness and autonomy of body. That is the thing I have the problem with. And people go into it thinking they're going to go in to help people, and what they find is a nightmare. I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm not speaking for every doctor. I am speaking for what I have read, what I have witnessed, and what I have been a party to. And having worked in a hospital this summer for the first time, a big fucking hospital, I got a job, boom, got right in it. It was a weird, random left turn off the path. It was just an opportunity. I took it, and it was like, wow. This goes way beyond the stories I got from the doctors and nurses that I worked with. This goes way beyond the medical techs that I've treated. This goes way beyond the clinics and hospitals that I've worked in and the parts that I've worked in Chinese medicine. I mean, it's like a war on so many levels. It's rough, man. It's rough out there. So I come back to the beginning of you are a limited resource, okay? And for every, and this is where the holistic and the philosophy and all this stuff like comes into play, right? My philosophy teaches me that I am a limited resource. I am unique and special, but I am also the same. And I can easily assess health. I have to do it through clear eyes. I have to do it without considering capitalism. I know that's like wild to most people, but I have to understand my preciousness and that I am a limited resource. So you are a limited resource. You only have so many heartbeats. You only have so many breaths, so many sunrises, so many sunsets. It's just how it is. You're limited. So the things you put on your skin, every perfume, every dye, every bleach, every chemical, everything that comes in a cream or a powder, anything that is manufactured that you put on your body goes through your liver. You are a limited resource. Every single thing that you put in your body that damages your veins and your tissue and your muscle and your organs and your retinas and your kidneys, like, and it's pretty simple to understand what that stuff is. Like, really, you can go listen to, tomorrow I have yesterday, because, yeah, when you're, it's whatever, go look for the podcast about sugar. That's a good example. You know, and the other thing is the people that we allow in our lives, and you find this with people as they get older and older. You could say blessed to learn this a little bit earlier in my life, that I only have so many fucks to give. And I get a lot of feedback all the time if I'm on lives, especially, and I'm giving my attention and focus to people and I'm in a good space to share myself. You know, people are like, you're so kind, you're so giving, and that is true, but there are serious boundaries to that stuff, because in my real life, I can't solve every problem. I can't explain everything. Sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. I can't carry a relationship with every person I meet. I'm not a computer, so I know that. So I don't spread myself thin. Like, I feel very grateful for the outlets that I have, like TikTok, even Blue Sky, which is still very disappointing with its engagement, but whatever. I'm trying. Clearly there's some secret sauce. We still have the super creators there. It's just whatever. I'm annoyed with social media. But listen, I'm really way off track today. It's just a ramble. I have spring mind. I have bunny mind. But you are a limited resource. So what you ingest, what you spend your digestive, metabolic energy on, and if you don't know what I mean by that, please, by all means, ask me. We can talk about metabolism. We can talk about different metabolisms. You have many metabolisms. You don't just have one. You have cellular metabolism, you have digestive metabolism, you have hormonal metabolism, lymphatic metabolism, chi metabolism. So many metabolisms, boo-boo. You're limited. Even the Energizer bunny dies at some point, right? The energy runs out. So pick and choose where you put your fucks. but have your fucks, because they'll run out even if you don't spend them. I don't know. That's just me. Eastern medicine, Chinese medicine, the practitioners of it, especially the ones who really take on the full medicine, and by that I just mean herbs and all the other treatments that we do, diagnosis being the main one, and then educating patients on their diagnosis. Like, we have a philosophy of life. It doesn't mean that we worship it. It's not, it's an idea of physics and quantum physics and the cycle of life and the cycle of the universe and how life began. Like, it really, diagnosis is all based on these philosophies, the 5 elements, the yin and yang. Essentially it comes back to like Taoism. I hate saying that because even saying Taoism is not Taoist. Like, you can't know the unknowable. You can't name the unnameable. Anyway, I digress. This is way too much, but whatever. You got poked. I hope you liked it.